I meet buyers all the time who look at me and say, but what is the best school in Katy ISD? And I always laugh because every school in Katy ISD is great, but I am going to share with you the top 5 high schools in Katy ISD according to niche.com. Stick around till the end and I'll tell you what you have to know when you're picking your home according to a school zoning pattern so that you don't get stuck in the mud. Hi, I'm Carolyn Bauerschlag, a local real estate agent right here in Katy, Texas, helping people just like you relocate from all over the country right here to the West Houston area. Now let's get to it. First of all, why should you live in Katy ISD? You probably Googled it, someone told you that you should live here, your coworker said it was great, but let's cover Katy ISD for just a second. Katy ISD is what we refer to as a destination school district. People literally move their lives to Katy just so that their kids can enjoy these excellent schools. And it's not just excellent in the general sense. The Texas Education Agency is a governing body that regulates public schools in Texas. And they have given Katy ISD for 23 consecutive years what they have as an A rating, which is their gold standard. Now, in the greater Houston area, according to niche.com, there's only really 3 school districts that kind of rank that high in the Houston area, and Katy is one of them. So if you are working in tech or oil and gas or in the medical center, a lot of people choose to take up residence here in Katy for that exact reason. Now, Katy ISD is obviously known for its academics, but academics are just one part of what makes a school district great. The teachers are very popular out here. The administration is well known for taking care of the students and the parents. Extracurriculars are on point. We've got Miller Career Center. Athletics are super popular. FAA is a big deal. There's a multitude of reasons that people love Katy ISD. So without further ado, let's get into the top 5 high schools here in Katy. So number 1, according to niche.com and your neighbors, is Seven Lakes High School. Seven Lakes High School opened back in 2005, and it's been a fan favorite almost from the jump. Parents will tell you that they love Seven Lakes for its academic reputation. In fact, I think that's why it's on the top of the list. According to the Texas Education Agency, you'll see that their pass scores for the standardized testing here in Texas are extremely high at Seven Lakes. But it's not just that, right? Like, a lot of these kids are going to be enrolled in every AP course that's available. They're going to be doing a lot of dual credit classes, but you've got a very, very strong academic focus here at Seven Lakes. Now, that's a sword that kind of cuts both ways, right? So it's great to be in a highly competitive academic environment until it's not, right? So you might have a 4.5 GPA and you might not even touch the top quarter. Now, if you're playing kind of this top 6, 7, 10% game in order to get into college, that's obviously somewhat of a disadvantage to you, unless of course you can get into the top 6, 7, or 10%. What a lot of parents will say is that the kids that are making it into those upper echelons of the percentiles are foregoing the opportunity to participate in things like band, cheer, athletics, football, track, whatever, in the name of being able to take an additional AP class. So just if you're going to live in Seven Lakes zoning pattern, recognize that yes, the academics are on point, but I would kind of argue so is everywhere else in Katy ISD. So just be mindful of that whenever you're going into the conversation. Now, Seven Lakes pulls from 2 neighborhoods, predominantly Seven Meadows and Grand Lakes. That's how they came up with the name. They also pull from other little pockets of Cinco Ranch, but it's going to be predominantly along that South Fry corridor, in between 1463 and the Grand Parkway. Now, if you want to live in a home zoned to Seven Lakes High School, it is going to cost you. This is one of our highest average price points. It racks in at $535,000. And the range of homes to get into Seven Lakes is going to be anywhere from $265,000 all the way up to $1.5 million. I would argue that real estate values are this high because the school reputation is so good. In fact, when we see homes kind of get reshuffled or rezoned into the Seven Lakes zoning pattern, we do see that home value click up a couple of points. Townhomes are rare out here in Katy, but fortunately, there are a couple pockets of townhomes that are zoned to Seven Lakes High School, and those are a lot more affordable and lower maintenance. There are townhomes that are available kind of in the high 2s, 300,000s, all the way up into the mid 3s. Now, high school number 2, according to niche.com, and parents alike, is Tomkins High School here in Katy ISD. Now, this one makes me laugh just a little bit. Tomkins opened up in 2013, and that's right about the time that we moved out to the area. I'm a Katy native. My parents taught in Katy ISD forever. I know a little bit more than your average bear. I've heard it for literally decades. But People panic every time a new high school opens. They are worried that the accreditation of the teachers isn't going to be good, that the population of students isn't going to be what they want. They think that the school's going to not be academically competitive, and that's just absolutely not true, and it's proved time over time over time here in Katy ISD. So when Tomkins opened, it pulled predominantly from Seven Lakes High School, and it pulled from Cinco Ranch High School. So it was trying to alleviate the student populations in both of those schools. So if those same kids that are at those same great high schools are going to a new high school, obviously this one's going to be probably pretty good too. Parents say that they're really happy with the academic performance of students there at Tomkins. It's right on par with what you're going to find at Seven Lakes, but you're also going to get a blend of maybe a little bit more student involvement. I would say that there's definitely an athletics focus at Tomkins. We hear about their football team doing really well. You hear about a lot of student involvement, so maybe slightly more balanced on not just academics focus like you might find at Seven Lakes. We happen to own a home that's zoned to Tomkins High School. It was zoned to a different high school whenever we first moved out here, and it got zoned into Tomkins, and I would say that a large reason that our property value has gone up over the last few years is because of this exact zoning pattern. The average price of a home to go to Tomkins is not inexpensive. It's $575,000. And homes range anywhere from $310,000 all the way up to a whopping $1.35 million. Other funny little things about this area is that Tomkins positioned kind of oddly between three Krogers. Not really sure why we have that many Krogers, but it is also directly across the street from God's gift to man, Whataburger. You know that Whataburger has got to hate every day around 3 o'clock when all those high school kids are going to go right across the street and do their thing. And the number 3 high school, according to niche.com, is Cinco Ranch High School here in Katy ISD. Cinco Ranch opened up in 1999, and if you can paint a picture in your mind's eye, imagine that Grand Parkway wasn't fully built yet. It barely cut through from I-10. I don't even think it touched the West Park toll. All of this is super brand new. La Centera doesn't exist yet, and Cinco Ranch, the neighborhood, is just now starting to move across the freeway and build homes on the west side of the Grand Parkway. So parents will tell you that they love Cinco Ranch for its blend of academics and extracurriculars that are available to their students. Now, the average price to get into Cinco Ranch is actually a little lower than some of the averages that we've talked about so far. Average price point is $415,000. And those homes range from the affordable side from about $215,000 all the way up to $950,000. And if you want to live nearby so that you can go to Cinco Ranch High School, obviously large portions of Cinco Ranch, the neighborhood, are zoned here. So are little pocket neighborhoods like Falcon Ranch. Kellywood is a larger neighborhood zone in that area. Cimarron is a more mature one. There's a lot of different options that are available to you. And the number 4 high school zoned to Katy ISD is Taylor High School. Taylor High School was the second high school opened up in Katy, if you can believe it. Katy High School was the one and only for 80 years, and then Taylor comes along and opens up in 1979. Now, I graduated from high school here 20 years ago, and even then, I remember hearing how academically competitive it was over at Taylor. There were stories that there were like 3-way ties between valedictorians and that they were only separated by a 1/10,000th of a point, which is crazy, and I would say that largely that academic performance standard is still very high. Now, parents will tell you that they love it for the blend of academics and extracurriculars. So there's again, some of that balance that you see there where maybe your child wants to participate in volleyball or swimming or cheer and they have a shot at it. Maybe not everything is as ultra competitive as it is at perhaps Seven Lakes or Tomkins, right? So maybe a more balanced experience here. Interestingly, home zone to Taylor High School has one of the widest ranges in value. Your average price is on the lower end at $420,000, but the purchase prices for homes to get into Taylor range anywhere from $190,000 all the way up to $2 million. Now, if you want to live in a home that's zoned to Taylor High School, it's going to be some of our very popular neighborhoods like Nottingham Country, Green Trails, Kellywood, Memorial Parkway, and these neighborhoods are all rounding on 30, 40, 45 years old. There are tiny parts of Cinco that are zoned to Taylor, but for the most part, that Taylor zoning pattern is going to kind of run up and down South Fry Road as it gets closer to I-10. Now, rounding out our top 5 favorite high schools in Katy ISD, according to niche.com, is of course Katy High School. Katy High School is the OG, the original. Its first iteration was built back in 1898, which is hard to believe. Now, if you talk to locals, people are super committed to Katy High School. They bleed red, they're Tigers for life. It's their personality. They're really into it. You can kind of see Katy High School when you drive by it. It's like a living timeline, right? Like you can see kind of the older parts of the building, then you can see the additions, the athletic wing, the performing arts center, the 9th grade center. It's all kind of just bolted on over time. Some people really love that feel. They love kind of this living, breathing timeline, and other people say, I don't really know about these facilities. But if you're committed to going to Katy High School, the chances are that you either have a family background in Katy or you've heard about their football team. Katy Tigers is its own cult, it's its own personality, it's a living, breathing thing. Katy High School has been state champion for their football team for many years, and people are super fanatical about it. You'll hear about parents leasing apartments, even if they can't buy a house or get their foot in the door, just so their child has an opportunity to participate in that football team. Parents will also tell you that if you want a shot at making the team, your child probably needed to be enrolled in football sometime around the age of 3. It is competitive, but people do go to Katy for that reason. Other things that are super popular about Katy are going to be FFA, the Tiger Band, extracurriculars are super popular here. You don't hear people harp on academics quite as much, but academics are still a huge part of any Katy school. So if your child wants to go to college, they're college bound, any Katy High School that you're going to go to is going to have the opportunity and the pathway in order for your child to get there. Now, Katy High School is a little bit different. It sits right at Highway 90, and it pulls its zoning pattern both from north of I-10 and south of I-10. So you're going to see Katy High School pull from these tiny neighborhoods that were built north of I-10 in the 1970s, 1980s. You're going to see them pull from Firethorn, which is a giant master plan community built within the last 15 years. Wood Creek Reserve is zoned to Katy High School. Cane Island is zoned to Katy High School. Sunterra, Grange is zoned there. That's the newest new construction development. And this is a really expanding area. So we encourage people that are trying to get into the Katy zoning pattern to be very aware that if they're buying a home that's in a high growth area like where the new construction is, be careful because there's a decent chance that you're going to get rezoned. Your best chance at making sure that your home is going to actually still continue to go to Katy is, of course, to be as geographically close to their location along Highway 90. Homes zoned to Katy High School have a little something for everyone. You'll see prices ranging from $190,000 for those smaller homes all the way up to a whopping $2.4 million. Those $2.4 million homes are probably acre estates. Your average price point to get your foot in the door is surprisingly high, though, at $475,000. So I promised you a little extra info that you have to know when you're relocating to the Katy area, and here it is. First is that these zoning patterns change, and I can't emphasize that enough. If you are relocating to the Katy area and you look up the Katy ISD zoning mapping tool, it will tell you this is the attendance boundary modification zone for this school year. And then there are other links that you can go and click and see where the schools are going to be zoned or what specific neighborhoods are going to go where for the following school year. And the reason for this is that Katy is a very high growth area. At the time of filming this video, Katy ISD enrollment is hovering right around 96,000 students, and it's expected to continue to go up. Those students have to go somewhere, and these high schools open, but they don't open at a super fast rate, right? But every time a new high school opens, the zoning pattern gets reshuffled. And when you think about it, like you don't want 5,000 kids at one campus when another campus has 2,500 children, right? So according to the load at each school, they're going to make sure that no one campus is overcrowded. So when you're considering what high school you want your child to attend, remember that your highest growth areas, which right now in Katy are going to be on the very farthest west border, and anything on the north side are going to be the most likely to change their zoning pattern. Places like May Creek High School, Morton Ranch High School, Taylor High School, Cinco Ranch High School, those are a little bit more stable. It's kind of landlocked. There's not a lot of new construction going on. So you're not going to see as much variation year to year in where those neighborhoods are zoned. But when you're out towards Jordan High School or Katy High School or Tomkins High School, that's where you can kind of see the shuffle happen a little bit more. Now, the second thing you need to know, and this is maybe a little bit controversial, but this is my opinion, so I'm going to give it to you, is that it doesn't matter where you go, you're going to get a great education. And that is kind of a hot take, but I'll explain why. Yours truly went to May Creek High School, and you will notice that May Creek made it nowhere on this top 5 list, right? But May Creek High School is in Katy ISD. It is A-rated according to niche.com. It is also A-rated according to the Texas Education Agency. It's just different. It's pulling from a different set of neighborhoods, right? And none of these are bad, right? Arguably, anything in Katy ISD is going to be a gold standard relative to options that are in other places. So when you hear people say things that are maybe derogatory or negative about other schools, just remember the source. Who is saying that to you? And go back and consult the true sources, like the Voices of Many or the Texas Education Agency, to see how those schools are really performing. I personally had a wonderful experience at May Creek High School. I'm friends with a bunch of the people that I went to school with 20-something years on. It was a great experience for me, and by the way, it was really easy to get into the top 10%. So if that's a game that you're playing, consider that too. And finally, and maybe most importantly, I want you to remember that things change. Your priorities might change from the time that your child is in 2nd grade to the time that they're in 9th grade. And it's really important for you as a parent to just be open to the fact that you might need to reevaluate what's best as time moves on, right? So what's good today might be different tomorrow. The other thing to keep in mind is that whatever plans you're making in 2025 might look very different in 2032, right? So the school zone patterns may be different. So be flexible and understand that this is a process, and you might have to change up your expectations. But the best news is that Katy ISD is eternally popular. So if you've been in your home for a few years and you decide, hey, you know what, I need something different, it's time for me to move, chances are is that your home's value has gone way up and that you're gonna be in great shape to make some money on your sale. That's all I have for you today. And if you're thinking about making a move to the Katy area, I would love to be your realtor. I am a living, breathing person right here, ready to take your phone call, and my contact information is best found in the description here below. And if you liked what you saw here today, make sure to subscribe. We put out content like this every single week, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.